Once upon a time in a quiet little town, there stood a magnificent statue of a prince. This statue was known as the Happy Prince, because it seemed to shine with happiness. But the prince was not always happy. He was a real prince, who lived a long time ago. He had a grand palace, a beautiful garden, and all the riches a prince could desire. One day, a beautiful swallow was flying through the town on his way to Egypt, for the winter. As he flew over the city, he saw the Happy Prince. The swallow was amazed at the statue's beauty. He decided to rest on the prince's shoulder for a while. As the swallow rested, he noticed that the Happy Prince's eyes were filled with tears. The swallow asked,
"Why are you crying, Happy Prince?"
The Happy Prince replied,
"I am not truly happy. I have seen the suffering and misery of my people, and it makes me sad. I wish I could help them, but I am just a statue."
The swallow was touched by the prince's words. He decided to stay in the town and help the Happy Prince bring happiness to the people. The swallow plucked out the prince's ruby from his sword's hilt and gave it to a poor seamstress, who needed money to feed her hungry child. He flew over the head of the sick boy and fanned with his wings.
"I am feeling cool. I feel I am getting all right."
Next, the swallow removed the prince's sapphire eye and gave it to a young playwright who was hungry and shivering with cold. The playwright was overjoyed and created beautiful plays that entertained the people.
A little girl is standing in the square. Her matches have fallen in the gutter. Her father will beat her if she went back without money,
said the prince.
"Pluck the sapphire of the other eye and give it to that little girl, and her father will not beat her,"
the prince urged to the swallow. So, he plucked out the prince's other eye and slipped the jewel into the palm of her hand. The little girl danced with joy to get the jewel. Then, the swallow came back to the prince and said,
"You are blind now, so I will stay with you always."
"No, little swallow,"
said the poor prince.
"You must go away to Egypt."
"No, I will stay with you always,"
said the swallow. And he slept at the prince's feet. The swallow stayed with the prince and told him about the miseries of the people, about the shivering and starving children. Poor beggars.
"I am covered with fine gold,"
said the prince.
"You must take it off, leaf by leaf, and give it to the poor. The living always thinks that gold can make them happy."
Leaf after leaf of the fine gold the swallow picked off, and he gave the gold to the children and the poor people. Their faces grew rosier, and they laughed and played in the street.
"We have bread now! We have bread now!"
they cried. As winter approached, the swallow knew he had to leave for Egypt. But he didn't want to leave the Happy Prince alone. The prince's golden body was now dull and without eyes, and he was truly sad. The poor little swallow grew colder and colder. He had become very weak, and had not left with enough strength to fly to Egypt.
"Goodbye, dear prince,"
he murmured.
"Will you let me kiss your hand?"
"I am glad that you are going to Egypt at last, little swallow,"
said the prince.
"It is not to Egypt that I am going,"
said the swallow.
"I am going to the house of death."
He kissed the Happy Prince on the lips and fell dead at his feet. Next day, the mayor visited the city, and he decided to take down the Happy Prince's statue. As the statue had become dull, he ordered to melt it, to make a new statue. As the furnace burned, a loud cry rang out from the fire. The leaden heart of the happy prince did not melt. It was thrown away, with the ashes near the dead body of the swallow. When the townspeople found the swallow and the happy prince, they were deeply moved by the sacrifice both had made. The swallow's love and the happy prince's sacrifice had touched the hearts of the people in the town, and they began to take care of the poor and the needy. Their story taught everyone the true meaning of happiness and the importance of helping others in need. From then on, the town became a happier and more compassionate place. Above in the heavens, God asked one of his angels,
"Bring me the two most precious things in the city."
The angel brought him the leaden heart and the bird.
"You have rightly chosen,"
said God.
"In my garden of paradise, this little bird shall sing forever. And in my city of gold, the happy prince shall praise me."
Thanks for watching. Please consider subscribing. Your feedback will motivate us.